Doing something a little different here. Just roll out of bed and we're gonna get this going. Usually get my whole morning going. I do everything I need to, and then we sit down and do it. But I've been finding lack of motivation throughout this times where I find to make excuses for myself for why I can't sit down and record, right? So we're just gonna get up, we're gonna roll right out and we're gonna do it. So apologies if we miss some things or if we feel a little bit of a mess, but I feel like this could be a good thing and this could work. So we're gonna roll right into it. I also say morning, but it's literally middle of the afternoon. I just have the worst sleep schedule known to man, so it's kind of a disaster right now, but that's all right. We set up some fun and interesting stuff last time. Well, set up might be the wrong thing to say because we didn't necessarily expand the world too much. Well, we expanded the world, but nothing immediate to focus on within our characters and the plot that we're kind of driving forward here. It's interesting because the episode was presented in a way that was significantly better and more interesting than the first one, and we just got some more backstory about the world and some why things came to be and how they kind of are. So now after we have that and the first episode established where they drop some things but not a ton, and we're kind of just going along on the journey of Rouge and Naomi here and just whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. I'm assuming now should be a point where we get told a little bit, and maybe not. Maybe we go like another episode or two before that happens. But I feel like now could be a good time to really start like driving forward what exactly it is that they're planning to do, and if not, at least set up somebody on the opposing end that we really should be kind of focusing on, or might be opposing us going forward. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe to me a lot to me if you have pretty stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode or series. We all know with episode 3. Or AI workers climbing up the stairs on their way to work.
ありがとうございます。
移動カーニバルか。
That's cool. It feels very much like the beginning of Vivi. Yeah, I know that girl.
申し訳ございません。
何何？
手荷物を改めさせていただきます。
もしかしてチョコがいけなかった？
どうぞ。こちらです。
So no.
バイオラの井戸は
Okay, so we're working with you. And it's the ID is the big orb thing that we kind of took.
大変失礼いたしました。では素敵なご旅行を。
Right. What do we get? Chocolate. Oh, we got a new bird. The Mark II.
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Who was the?
それでは失礼します。ジーンから。ジーンじゃなくてユングハルト次長でしょ。公私混同しない。なんて。何が？いや、だから。
In general.
お仕事バッチリいけて。
Right, right. We get any praise
そ
or
の
anything?
辺あちらとしてはどんな感じなのかな。なんて。期待してるってよ、お兄様。
I was thinking that. All right.
私に。
Oh.
これからもルジの面倒を見てやってほしいって。
More.
はあ
Taking care of me? I also love this song and the ED. They've been on replay for a while. I say a while, the whole last week. So, they're great.
ニウス、アキルス、ヴァイオラ、インモータルナイン、不死の国。
So, the one that we killed and we've been getting confronted about definitely is the other, the Immortal 6. So 6, we have 2, aware of 3.
火星を立ったと報告が入りました。ですが、守護局も嗅ぎ回っているようです。
連中に知られると厄介だ。
手は打っておきます。
Alright.
それと例の移動カーニバルですが、ルジ様のいらっしゃる火星の
ウェルスタウンで興行を打つのだろう。どうやら偶然というわけではなさそうだ。
モータルナインは人間の姿をしてるんじゃないの？あえてネアンの姿でネアンの中に紛れているのかもよ。
Also might not be.
守護局のアッシュ
Ah,
捜査
these
官組
motherfuckers.
んだりまでご苦労ですな。あれ守護局の人なの？リストで見た。なんでもロータルの跳ねっ返らしい。
最大のネアン居留地があるのですから。
お仲間がいっぱいで嬉しいことだな。
ヘルムの丸ゆで。あれ
More chocolate?
ない。
Oh no. You gotta have some spare for us,
私
please.
のチョコがない。
No.
まだあったのに。
They took it from you.
あれなら。はい、これ。
Oh my god.
バイバイ。ああ、磨けよ。
Why would you do
あの子た
that?
ちにチョコをあげて大人になったんでしょ。偉いね。自由にしていいって言ってた。ジ
Ooh.
ル？なんでここであのカメラの人が出
Because
て
she
くる
said
わ
she
け？
was free
自由は
to
自
make her
分
own
で選べって。
choices. Yes.
自由なもんあるわけないでしょ。
In this
ある？
world.
ない。勝手に自分の意思で動くなんてエージェントとして失格。
私はいつも自分の意志で戦ってる。
But you
能見
follow
はいつでも
orders.
後ろで見てるだけじゃん。こっちがお膳立てしなきゃ何もできないくせに生意気言うんじゃないの。あん
Yeah.
たなんか所詮心理部の道具。備品みたいなもんなんだから。
Ooh. That's gross. She's not wrong,
おーい、
but it's like,
言っちゃいましたよ。
ugh.
ナオミのバカ、ナオミのバカ、ナオミのバカ、ナオミのバカ、ナオミのバカ。
I'm on Rouge's side. Apologize. Aw.
ネアンが人間様に勝手に触るとは、こいつ壊れてんな。壊れてる壊れてる。壊れた道具は処分しないと。
待ってください。僕は何も。
黙れスカーヘッド。処理場へご案。
Call them names, the way they're treated.
なんだお前。何見てる。おい。
Oh no, Rouge.
その場にしてろ。
Yeah, you're not gonna
道
want
具じゃ
that.
ない。備品でもない。
先生、お知り合いですか。
Yeah, that's his boy.
ああ、そうでしたか。あちらの娘さんも。
ああ、そうだ。
She's with us too.
いいでしょう。おい、戻るぞ。
レオン、騒ぎを起こすな。
He was just standing there.
先生。
行くぞ。
はい。
Don't make trouble.
あ、
Do you have any chocolate?
いや
入りたいのか。
探してるやつがこの中にいる。
そうだったな。
No questions asked either. Oh.
先生。
アフダル先生。
It's funny how they use the nectar as like a payment in a way. Like a bribe.
そんな得体の知れないネアンと会う必要はない。
いえ、会ってみましょう。
ユバル。
我々には希望が必要です。たとえそれがどんなに細い雲の糸であろうとも。
We need something to spark the. God, bro.
ダリアが。
Ooh.
はい。
お前も手伝え。ぐずぐずすんな。
もういいぞ。
ダリア。
Interesting that the nectar's the only thing that works. Well, not like the only thing, but I mean, in the way that it seems like they're treating him like he's so special in a way. Okay, it's temporary. Got it. Got it.
信号が同期しなくなってる。だが、
I was gonna say like it would be something that they all should be able to do.
死ぬ自由すらないってわけだ。
ひどい。
ここはまだマシな方だ。金星計画に投入されたネアンは、あの星の過酷な環境下で使い潰されてる。人間が触れることも見ることもできない地獄のような世界で、金星をテラフォーミングするためだけに働き、そして死んでゆく。まさに消耗品だ。
Yep.
で、お前さんはどこに行くんだ？
We don't have a
確か
destination.
探してるやつがいるとか言ってたが。
Hmm.
あ
私はどこへ行ったらいいんでしょう。
え
What do you mean?
ずる賢いからどこにいるかわからない。
面白いやつだな。自由ネアン評議会だ。
Ah.
あなたにお会いしたいというお方がおられます。
You were the one that we were seeking. I mean, I figured that was the case, but also I don't know if she's the spokesperson you would want here.
出ないようですね。
Oh, the boy. How did you get in here?
所長、
Let anyone in.
お願いした捜査資料の件だが、赤い人影の件だよ。先日キャナルシティにも現れたという。
I love how they're all together here.
この禁物内は禁煙です。
じゃああいつらはどうなんだ。
注意してきます。
No, no, I wouldn't do that. No, 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 no.
言い過ぎた。
Yeah, about time you realize that.
備品って私もまだまだ未熟よな。
But did you mean that? Oh.
次のターゲット。
間違いありません。あの子が赤い姿になるのを見ました。
Oh, what the
そう
fuck?
ですか。
Oh, are they just straying?
私はユバル。
お前も物騒な連中には関わらないことだ。
物騒も何も
It's interesting too how they can't even
僕た
detect
ちは
it.
暴力を振るうこともできませんから。
CFN はネアンが自由に生きる権利を認めさせようとしているだけです。
Mm-hmm.
初めは誰でもそういうもんだ。生きていたいだけ自由が欲し
And then after you obtain that, you want more and more, yeah.
い。欲深いのは人もネアンも変わらんさ。
少なくとも人間は生まれてすぐ戦争に送り込まれたりはしませんよ。
We'd at least like
私は
that.
戦場とこの町と工場3つの世界しか知りません。
デュモ
アフダル先生、お久しぶりです。
ネアンたちのためにこの町が作られました。初めは
But they're not
我々
treated
の
very
自治が
well.
認められていました。しかし今では
Now we're overlooked by others. We're not given shit. Proper attention that we need.
ジモフコードの存在によって
Good, you've heard so much about.
人間に危害を加えてはならない。人間の命令に服
So they can do absolutely anything they want, and we have no forms of, yeah, protecting, retaliating. We can't do shit. But you're different, because you're probably programmed entirely different. These are the free people that they don't know about.
私の3番目の親は人間の老夫婦。優しい人たちでした。
My third set.
子供のいない人間のための代替用として作られたネアン。私には23人の人間の親がいます。
Damn.
アルタ。力で人間に反抗しようとしているネアンたちの組織。
私が追いかけてる奴らかも。接触してくるって言ってたけど。
どうやら居留地内に内通者がいるようなのです。我々が求めているもの。それはあなたの力ではない。
Then what are you going to use
その
from
自由
her?
な意志なのです。
Oh, yeah.
味も不コードに縛られず、人間とも対等に接する。
Yeah.
あなたの存在そのものに意味があるのです。
You're treated as if you are
あなたのような
one.
ネアンが存在し、我々と共に歩んでくれると知るだけでも。
That does wonders for us. Yeah.
となるはずです。
先生に感謝しているはずです。
戦場とこの町と工場。3つの世界しか知らないと言ってたな。
僕はこの町しか知りません。生まれてからずっとこの町で生き、先生のお手伝いをしてきました。
初めは誰でもそういうもんだと。だが、それでは足りなくなる。
I really like his character so far. He's aware he still wants to help, but he warns them.
備品、自由、希望。
It's all things that any normal person should have.
なんていうかな。
I found her.
ビンゴ。自力で居留地に入ってる。案外できるか。
一人で入ってもらうようにって。
Oh no. They're building this up to be bad. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, that was bad.
私がやったんじゃない。分かってるって。で、誰さん？ユバル。大物じゃん。
And they're gonna look at her. No, 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 no,
みんな
no.
落ち着け。人類側に知られてみろ。彼らの介入を招くことになる。
それは何の騒ぎですか？
恐竜地内へ治安出動だ。
何があったんだ？
守護局だろうがここは我々の管轄だ。
Yeah.
首は突っ込まないでもらいたい。
同じ公僕だろう。
Yeah, not at the same level.
もしかしてアルターのやつらにはめられた？どうする？あ。
The music and everything builds up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. In a much different episode than we've been getting, less action focused and more of the drama and more of just world building and kind of giving us that backstory and the thing that we really kind of needed, you know, understanding people's roles, positions, and the different people that kind of at play here. I think they do a good job at kind of presenting that stuff, but I am left fairly confused with a lot of things. So I think that that's important to bring up right away, as a lot of what I'll be talking about here probably won't be in detail or theorizing on these things due to the fact of my not being able to comprehend, I guess, everything. And all of that comes into, we have like 5 or 6 different factions that got introduced that all have small little things that they've told us about, but nothing too heavy, to the point that like I can't remember all of them. I just can't. And I don't know exactly who's affiliated with who or who like is doing what or what their the goal, you know, like it's hard. I do know the CFN is the one that really gets a lot of focus here throughout this episode. The people, the Neon specifically, who are trying to become free, the people who want to have their own free will and want to be their own free person. And that's a difficult task to kind of take on. That's not something that likely they'll ever really have that opportunity to. And maybe that's what this story is. It's them trying to. But it doesn't seem like we're really going to head down a direction that's going to be able to work, as the doctor here makes it pretty obvious. You know, this is something that you do start out, and a lot of times you have really good intentions. Most people do. They want these things. They have something that they're really desiring towards and they really want. But once that's achieved, you constantly want more, right? It's the natural progression of humans in a lot of situations, the natural way that we kind of feel and we act towards things. We get something, we strive for it, we desire this thing, and once you get it, you're never satisfied with it. Some people more than others for an extended period of time, but after a certain amount of time, that kind of goes away. I'm typically the person who strives after something, and then the moment they get it, they're usually not satisfied even initially right away. And that thing that I've been going for, that hunt, that journey for that thing, is what kind of fuels you and kind of gives you that satisfaction. It's not actually the thing that the end goal and the thing that you actually reach and achieve. And then you're just looking for what's next, right? You're no longer just looking at like, I'm content with the things that I have. And he's making that painfully obvious for them, right? Every single one that he talks to, that you do have good intentions. This is a good thing. And of course you should have these things and we should treat you like other people. But the issue is, once we give you that, what will you then want? What will you want to have next? Which is like fucked up to really think about. And also he's not necessarily in a position that can actually fight for it. He's just kind of treating everybody on equal terms as they are now, even though that people of higher up and, you know, government and all that won't actually treat them as that, and most other humans won't. But it is a slippery slope that you can possibly head down at some other point. You know, these people are going to want rewritten stuff within their code to allow them to do these things or feel these certain ways and not have to obey everything that humans do, and want to not have to be put into war and, you know, all this stuff, battle right away as soon as they're born, right? It's valid things, of course, but you have to wonder, due to the makeup of these people that we're not necessarily sure of, and they're probably built as people who are high class fighters and, you know, whatever it is, to the point that if you do start giving them their own free things and allow them to kind of do their own stuff, it might cause trouble for you as humans, even though they do have code and things that are written that don't allow them to attack. We don't know the process of things that allow that to be rewritten at any sort of point. We don't know the process of, is it possible to even break through that? You know, there's bugs and things that happen within code that is written, right? Like, we don't know if there's things that kind of happen and these things can come broken, if there's a way that they're going to be able to find out to kind of avoid that or overwrite that. Like, there's plenty of things, I think, on the human end that they are very concerned about and worried about. And I think that's all valid stuff for them to kind of feel and think. And I think that to dismiss that is a little wrong. It makes what Naomi said at the beginning a little like, I don't know, you got to think about it, because she's considering herself when she talks about how nobody's free and how everybody's just like kind of a slave to somebody else at the end of the day, right? Everybody else is kind of just doing what somebody else is kind of asking them, and you just follow orders, and that's kind of all you're good for, right? And while she's directing that towards Rouge, and Rouge is the one who gets hurt by that the most, because Rouge wants to believe that she is free as she was told by somebody else, and wants to have that own choice, and tells herself constantly, I'm fighting for myself and I'm doing all this. But at the end of the day, you're really not. It's a little bit difficult. But in that same situation, Naomi's talking about herself, right? She's not really free either, as we don't even know. I mean, and I'm just hoping that they don't go a route that, like, by the end they're just like, secretly all along she was fucking not really there, right? She was Neon as well, right? Like, I just don't want them to go that way, I guess. Which is a full possibility that they, you know, try and reveal that at some other point. But even if they did go a route like that, even if they don't go a route like that, and she is human, she's considering herself and the things that she's talking about being a tool and all, because she just has to follow orders and do these things that the people who have more authority and are higher up than her, right? It's kind of just natural progression at the end of the day, right? It's the food chain, right? You just, the people at the top of the line get to kind of dictate everything and tell you what to do, and you just kind of have to obey that and fall in line. And while there will be people who kind of venture out and try to not allow that to happen, such as this organization and everything that we run into here, it's a little bit you know, it's a little bit difficult to kind of go against them, especially as we end up getting to see Juval, the person who is the head of the organization and is trying to lead this, right? It's a person who seems to have all this knowledge and understanding, and the person who is widely respected and, you know, looked at amongst the people within his own organization, as well as just many of the others, probably ends up getting killed by the end. It's only natural we take out the leader, of course. It's only natural that that's kind of set up in a way. It's only natural that there is somebody out there who's actively kind of aware of this and looking out and trying to take him out and eliminate him in some sort of way. So it all makes sense. Like, I get it, and, you know, it makes sense that happened. And honestly, I was kind of feeling like that would happen. I wasn't maybe expecting Rouge to be the one who just like was alone and stumbled across them. It almost felt like she was going to get the blame pinned on her initially, which luckily seems like wasn't going to end up happening. But it makes sense that we would go out of our way and we would take somebody out like him, right? We don't want those type of people around. Higher ups don't, and that's a big warning in a way from Naomi too, of like, dude, we can't, like, you can't do this, because people will be out for you at the end of the day. We learn more about the altar as well and what their kind of group is, and this is where, like, I've been kind of under the wrong impression of what I guess I necessarily thought they were, because now it's seeming like they're almost associated within the 9 that we're kind of dealing with, while still being Neon, from what I believe. So if that's the case, is it just other code word that they're using for the 9? Or is somebody like Rouge considered to be part of, like, Alter? Well, not necessarily in the group, but like classified as somebody like that, because she is Neon, but completely different at the end of the day, because she is overwritten or written in a way that she's allowed to kind of be a little bit more free and have, you know, that own free will that she can kind of strive for. Like, I don't know. I don't know. There's plenty of other organizations that get brought up. Like I said, I gotta rewatch it if I really want to grasp onto them and figure out what it is. But they go into a lot of that stuff. I gotta start. I said this after the first episode. I gotta write some of the stuff down. Whenever they start throwing other names in the organizations and things get political and stuff, I start losing it. Same thing what happens when I watch like Gundam and stuff like that, I get like so fucking confused because there's so many different like organizations and people that are associated to like certain people or branches within them, right? And it just like it piles up, and I get to a point I'm like, I got no clue what the fuck's happening anymore. So we gotta look at something like that, and hopefully I can figure that out. My camera has died. I see, I don't feel like resetting it, so you guys will see the entire full picture here. Basically, they do a good job at kind of building this up. So they also build up the carnival here at the beginning, which the carnival to me strikes as like maybe people that are kind of hiding themselves as another organization or as one of these ones that we kind of know, and use it as a way to constantly be traveling and kind of be on the move, and it's a little bit more difficult to track them down or follow exactly who's involved or exactly what it is. We end up getting a new bird, which is great, from Naomi. Of course, she's on the phone talking about the brother. Why do I have weird suspicions that the brother doesn't actually exist and it's just this motivating factor and person and thing for Rouge? I don't know why, I just kind of have that feeling. The two of them ultimately ended up getting into a fight here at some point about not having free will and everything, which is a little bit, we talk about that a little bit, but it's still, Naomi went a little bit too far and probably should have worded things a little bit different, and also understood that, well, Rouge is taking an approach to act a little bit more mature at moments. She's really not, and you kind of have to treat her a little bit different, right? Which kind of gets her a little bit pissed. I also love Naomi just throwing away or giving the kids all of her chocolates so that she didn't have any. We get the doctor and his helper here. The doctor's really interesting, just the way that he kind of treats or views other people, and he's a character that I am enjoying quite a bit. We get on the inside and see all the people who come back basically from war and everything that have to live inside this little civilization and stuff that they built up. It's very scary. Really is that this is even like a thing. It's kind of, and it's also interesting because it was built as a place that they have tons of freedom, but now as time goes by, because they can't not obey the humans, and they don't have their own like way of kind of fighting back or retaliating or doing anything, they fall in line once again and naturally kind of just progress underneath them, which is kind of sad. And the doctor kind of just accepts that and allows that to be. We expand more here with other planets and things too, about different like rules and stuff within them, which I think is interesting. We go into the new organization. Naomi realizes that she has said and done things wrong, and that's where we start meeting Duval and kind of talking to him and learning about everybody, which is interesting enough, and we kind of went over that a little bit. It's interesting too. I think Rouge is going to really go down a path of discovery, of trying to find ways for her and her own people to kind of be free at the end of the day, but also just live a little bit more free herself, which I think is going to be at least fun for us to kind of see. We set up Duval and he ends up dying here, which is not so great. This guy, I still don't know what his fucking deal is. I gotta look into him a little bit more and pay attention. He's just not really getting what he kind of wants, and then we get a big ship at the end that kind of comes through that is scary and will only be bad news. Sorry if I kind of skimmed through that. I'm very short on time again. So I needed to kind of get through that. Hopefully you like, though, and I will do my best to kind of go back and rewatch this, at least throughout the edit, and kind of raise some stuff down and be a bit more prepared for next time, because whenever they start throwing organizations, I get all fucking confused. But I think it's a good episode, and it's kind of what I was expecting them for them to kind of build up a little bit more and give characters and things a little bit more purpose. Hopefully next time we get Naomi and Rouge to make up at some point, and then we kind of go from there while everybody's on the same page again, and we start fighting towards whatever Rouge's purpose really is, or what she's kind of feeling it should be going forward. And hopefully we can keep more of like the doctor and some others involved that we've been interested in. If you like it all, like and subscribe to me, not to me, feel free to check out the videos and channel. Let me comment on this series. I'll be back for the fourth one next week. Have a good one. Peace.